If it's your first time working with a Shopify developer or you've never worked with a developer before and you're not sure about how the process is or what to ask or how do things move along, this video might help just to see it from the developer's perspective and help give you an idea of how it is to work with a Shopify developer. So for this video, I thought we'd make it a little bit interactive. Instead of me just putting a list of some things to keep in mind, if we can go through a live website, so as if it's your website, and if I'm speaking with you about your website, kind of how the process would be. So if you are in the talks with the developer, and let's say you're looking to make improvements to your website, you have your website up, but you've noticed that there's some things that can be improved, and maybe you'd like the developer to come in and offer their recommendations as well to see what can be improved to improve the user experience, maybe the speed of your website, or just to make the shopping experience easier. So the first thing is when you're working with a developer, what I like is when people let you know what it is that they would already like to improve. So maybe you've noticed on your homepage that, um, for instance, something simple. These are supposed to be links. When you click on this, it should take you to either a collection or a product. But when you click, nothing happens. This is something clear that you can let your developer know when you're sharing with them some of the issues that you see that, okay, you click on this, but it's not performing or it's not acting like how it's supposed to. So the first thing is, once again, find clear issues or find clear problems that you know can be fixed, because this helps at least to have some sense of direction on how to move forward and what things need to be tackled first, if there's already clear issues. The next thing that you can do is, if you have maybe an idea of potential improvements that you would like to implement, but you're not too sure of how it would work, or you'd like additional feedback. So maybe you're looking at this website, for instance, and you like how they have the autoplay feature here, and then they have this product on the right side. So you maybe show this as a link to the developer or the agency or whoever you're speaking with, and you say, hey, I like this idea. I like how the video of the product is playing here on autoplay, but then we have the product here. Is this something that we can implement? So sharing different ideas is also helpful, because as a developer or as an agency, they can then use this as a reference when they are building that feature. When they're looking for examples, they can kind of see, okay, what have other companies done, and how can we implement that onto your website here? So yourself as the merchant, feel free to do any extra research or take a look around at either competitors' websites or just any website in general that you think a feature on that website could make improvements to your specific website. Bringing potential ideas and potential solutions is always helpful as well, when speaking with your developer. Another thing, of course, to think about is time frame. These changes, are they urgent? Is there a sale coming up? Is there something that is going to need these changes to be made quickly? Or are these changes something that there's no rush, but you would like them to get done in a timely manner or whenever possible? That can also affect the how things move forward as well. What I mean by that is, something that is relatively simple. So for instance, if we go back to this up here with this, these are supposed to be links. Something like this wouldn't take too long. So let's say you mentioned, I need this done in the next week, or I need this done in a week, and all I want to do is hit these priority tasks. Like for instance, I want to make these components here links, or I want to wrap these components links around them, so that way when the customer clicks on them, instead of this just them being static, you click and then it takes you to the product. And I want to implement this in the next week. Something like this shouldn't take too long, and it's reasonable. Now maybe you want something that's a little bit more complicated, that it might take a little bit more time. Comparing these times and bouncing this off with your developer, with the agency, is going to be helpful as well, because you're going to be able to see what things are doable in the specific time frame that you're looking for, and then what things might not be so doable, or might take longer to implement. So definitely getting time frames down is something that is very important as well. Getting time frames and knowing, what things are priority and what things, you know, can be delayed or do not need to be looked at right away. So those were just a couple things to keep in mind, as you're working with a developer. So just to summarize, the first thing is, have clear in mind, um, issues or things that you want to take care of. Now, sometimes I know myself, I've worked with merchants, or there might be merchants who just say, hey, just take a look at the theme, and if there's anything that you see, let's make those improvements as well, and that's fine. If you're just looking for maybe an audit, or you just want the developer to just look through your website and find potential things that can be improved, or things that might be broken that can be improved, that's fine as well, because at least that gives the developer an idea of how to move forward. But I can say the number one thing is you want to be able to, after you finished talking with the developer, you want to have a plan moving forward. You want to have some sort of what's the next step, what's the next action, because that helps to make things move smoothly along, so if a project doesn't delay or things aren't just stagnant and you're not sure, okay, what are the next steps? You check back in with the developer, but you never made a clear next move, so now you're not sure how the project is moving along. So number one thing, make sure that when you are meeting with a developer, that if possible, you have some ideal improvements in mind that you've already seen, and you can relay that to your developer, so that way there's some sort of path moving forward. And then the second thing is having references, whether it's a reference website or bringing ideas that you think can be improved, really helpful as well, because then again, you're giving your developer a chance to be able to see what other companies have done and how they can implement this onto your website as well. And then the third thing, just having clear timelines, like when you want something built. Is there a sale? So letting your developer know any sales that might be coming up, or maybe you're having some work done on your website, or anything that could possibly delay or get in the way of work that's being done on your website. Just let them know, so that way they can budget that in, or they can put that into the timeline, just to make the experience working with one another as smooth as possible. So I hope this video was helpful if you're working with a developer, to kind of see how the process is, and at the end of the day, it's just clear communication on both ends that really makes the process as smooth and enjoyable as possible, so that way your website is up to par with exactly what it is that you're looking for moving forward. So if you're looking for a Shopify developer, if you're looking for to make upgrades or improvements to your website, please feel free to come to our website here. The link is down below. Feel free to take a look around, see some of the work you've done, see what other people have said, or if you just have any questions and you want to reach out, I'll be more than happy to help. If you're looking for a Shopify developer, please feel free to reach out, and I'll be more than happy to help with any issues, concerns, upgrades, or theme customizations that you might have in mind.